Let's remind you what's coming up in a moment. Your calls on rising water bills. Sorry. You okay over there? They're set to rise by an average of 26% from April in England and Wales. Oh, my goodness. Some areas are getting 47% increase. Is it time the government just re-nationalised it? Lock, stock and water barrel. 0207 862 2222. Then should owners of heavier cars be taxed more to fund pothole repairs? That's what they're doing in the Netherlands. Should we do the same here? Then a few more stories from the papers and everywhere else, and we're going to show you the unusual police chase that's gone viral for good reasons. At 11:30, Storm asks if it's okay for kids to play with toy guns. And this is how you get in touch with our album artwork question. So over we go. That's going to come in useful later. So record store, bring out the album. We asked, I think you know this one, because it's kind of a classic from the 80s. Which band and which album title? Okay, to be in touch with us, best way is probably landline 0207 862 2222, 16p a minute for your call. Little bit extra, we think, if you dial from a mobile, depending on what your service provider is. Then we've got the socials, and we're quite busy on all of this. TikTok is a lot of fun. Blue Sky is quite quiet but sensible. Facebook is Facebook. YouTube, Musk, Threads, Instagram, all good. There's the album cover. Who and what was it? The answer is, it was U2 and War, and it's 83. 1983.
Good graphics.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Yeah,
nice, snazzy.
Appreciate the work of Ella Downey on the graphics. Now, do we need to nationalise water firms? It's been confirmed this morning that water bills will rise in April by an average of 26% for households in England. It was 26%. That's a £123 increase. However, now we're going to explain how averages work. It depends on where you live, because in some areas it might be higher. And yes, Jemma has just moaned because she's seen the auto queue, 47%.
Wow.
In some areas. And that's a £224 rise. I know.
It's absolutely disgusting.
And that's, by the way, southern water. And weirdly, some of the biggest rises are in the areas where the execs get the most money.
Oh, funny that.
Yes, it is strange.
Yes.
The regulator OfWat says an increase is necessary to fund badly needed infrastructure such as storm overflows and to prevent sewage spills. I thought we were paying for that already.
So did I.
It's a lot of money for a lot of us when, you know, cost of living is still very much a painful factor. Does the government need to step in here, Jemma, and just say, we're sorry, this is the Thatcherite privatisation that everyone agrees hasn't worked?
Yeah, absolutely. And do it tomorrow. It's absolutely pathetic. And these water company bosses, I saw one of them being interviewed and he said, you know, what our customers really want is clean water. You think, well, yeah, but that's sort of the basic standard of what we all expect. And now to put our money up to pay for the fact that you've done zero investment, and I'm very glad to say one thing that Labour are doing that is good, is building some reservoirs. I think they've given the green light to quite a few around the country.
But we understand the mechanism, so I don't mean to be sort of mansplaining here, but basically if you're going to try and get private money into the water system, you've got to give private money bags people a reason to invest, and you do that through dividends. So what you do is you pay out on their shares.
Yeah.
So they give you lots of money, and you give them, let's say, 10% back every year. It's a bit like borrowing. And they're trying to... So they have to keep spending money on dividends to keep people investing.
Yeah.
If they don't, they get into the situation Thames Water are in, where they basically have run out of total investor confidence.
But it's the term black hole. Where's the money going? Because of these big payouts to CEOs, Thames Water CEO had 770,000. And guess what? 73% of these payouts to the CEOs comes from us. It doesn't come from any sort of...
Thames Water paid 37 million in dividends. And by the way, those investors aren't even here, and many of them are in Abu Dhabi.
But that I would agree. However, can you name me 2 functional, transparent, government-run organisations at the moment? Because I can't. Come on.
Jemma.
I'm sorry, I still have people
The NHS
who
is
I
not
know
run
very
properly.
well. No, excuse me, I put in a prescription yesterday. I'm getting it in a couple of days' time. No,
people having to wait ages to see a doctor.
Okay.
Waiting lists are
right. And the alternative
insane.
is going bankrupt in America, where you basically you oh sorry, we're not going to pay for your anaesthetic because it's not covered by
France and Germany.
Can I just confirm? Are you saying the NHS is run properly?
Let's not get derailed too much.
We
All right,
miss it
I'll
if
give
it
you
went.
one. local councils do a pretty good job.
No, they don't.
You work for
I
one.
do, and I'm sorry.
Well, what are you going to privatise that?
Watching.
Let me tell you something. If you privatise bin collection, instead of having one bin a week up your street, you're going to have 12. You see how people like that?
And I'll explain. So most apartments at the moment, you have to pay service charges. As much as I hate them and I think that we pay too much, we do get a far better service. I own private leaseholds and I own ones which were previously owned by local authority. And I pay service charge. I can't tell you the last time they came to clean anything.
OK, so then you go to Thatcher and you just privatise everything that's not screwed down.
I'm not saying that I think maybe a hybrid where they have to...
No, I just say nationalise. It's water. It's a basic need.
Rail
The government don't run an
Rail is one
properly.
which is really up in the air. I don't know. I just remember that it was shocking in the 70s. That's all I can remember. The trains were not there.
Yeah.
Everyone was
But
grumpy.
You weren't paying 300 quid to go to Manchester.
I know, and that's the other argument. I know, and also trains now don't run.
No,
you know,
not
they,
really.
They really don't.
I
And,
think they
and
need
with
to
the
be split
water,
up
with the
for more
water,
competition.
it is basic. It has failed. The privatisation experiment has
But the
failed.
reason why
they
it's
haven't
failed,
invested.
the reason-
no reservoirs, no upkeep. huge
Privatisation
dividends.
does not work if there's no competition. If they split these up
That's
into
true.
smaller entities, there'd be competition. They'd have to do better.
But also,
Or-
that's the key problem with the market is short term. And you will do something that gets you a profit in a year and ignore the thing
Yes.
that takes 10 years to
Yes.
pay.
But
very
And that's the
quickly.
problem. No,
Keep
hang on
hasn't-
just a minute.
okay.
Let's just go out and get a call because we talked a lot. We're over here with our little map of England and Wales, and we've got water companies such as Yorkshire Water. Some of them have initials. SBB is a water company with initials, but nobody knows what it is. I mean, I'll tell you in a second. But it's because they don't necessarily use the initials you would imagine when they give SEW. We know that's Southeastern Water. SBB is Southwest Water. You know, they can't. You privatise them and they start choosing the wrong initials. Arthur is in Cheshire. So you're let's see, you're going to be United Utilities. So you're, hang on. Oh, you're right up here. Okay, right. Sorry, because I'm thinking as we're Scotland here, but we're not. We're North England. Right, Arthur, we found you. United Utilities. How's it looking for you, my friend?
Well, what it is, I think privatisation is wrong because they get the profits and they don't plough it back into the water authorities. It goes to the shareholders.
Do you know, Arthur, do you know what your increase is?
No, but I
23%. 23%, Arthur.
Yeah, which is a lot of money,
It
isn't
is.
it?
£120.
Yeah, so, and what do? When you've got a storm, they just dump all the rubbish into the sea. They don't treat it properly. It goes straight in the sea. Row
the boat.
Yeah, and it's absolutely ridiculous. So, when I was a kid, the railways, the water, it was all privatised.
No, it was all nationalised.
Nationalised, sorry, yeah. It was all nationalised, sorry, yeah.
And was it cleaner then? Was it cleaner?
Well, it seemed to work better. And then
There were less, there were less of us
all of a
in...
sudden, they decided to go private, and it was going to be the best thing since sliced bread. But it never ever was.
No, I know. I hear. Listen, I've got a lot of sympathy for your point of view. Thank you very much, Arthur. It was. I mean, that we are now a population of nearly 70 million. Back in the day, Arthur refers to, we were about 50 million. That's a lot more toilets, and that's a lot more to deal with. And God only knows how they do it in London.
But those households are those people are all paying for it, so there's more money. And someone at Thames Water has tweeted today saying, "I work there, and I can assure everyone." The aim was to do the minimum investment to ensure maximum dividends.
Well, that's the thing. Thanks, Arthur, so much. Joe is in Derby. Hi, Joe.
Hi, how are you doing?
Well, is it Severn Trent Water you're with?
It is, yes.
Or is it SVE?
No, Severn Trent.
Okay.
Absolutely horrendous, the prices.
Is it?
And
Now,
they're
let me
going
just...
up again, as you know.
I'm going to try and tell you how much yours is going up by in Derby, Joe. And let's think. Ooh, we'll find out. Go on.
Renationalise it. That's what we need to do. Bring it back into the hands of the people like they used to do before Thatcher took over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it can't be any worse, put it that way.
Well,
It's
you're
all about money,
22%
it's all
right.
profit.
22% rise coming down the track for you, I'm sorry to say, Joe.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry to say that.
22%.
I think it's £119. Oh, sorry, £99 extra per year. I'm really sorry to bring you that news.
You could use that on something else, couldn't you?
Well,
it's
but listen, if I know, but then again, if they nationalise it, it comes off your taxes. Is that not just as bad?
Well, it didn't seem that bad in the old days.
No, do you know what? We do have a hunger to. Thank you, Joe. To go back to the old days, don't we?
No, the old days have gone.
But maybe the old days were rubbish.
Like
The 70s were bad.
The demographic of our country is entirely different. And that's why councils are overstretched now. Many of them submitting Section 114s because of bankruptcy. Now you want, them to be nationalised. They can't.
I'm nostalgic for the days there wasn't human affluent in the water. Call me old-fashioned.
Human effluent.
Effluent even, not
affluent. I know, I can see. I know you interchange affluent and effluent. All right, now our friend Derek is in Northamptonshire. You're about there, Derek. Oh, you must be Anglian water, are you, Derek?
That's correct.
OK, do you want me to break the news to you? You're a sharp guy, I bet you know already.
Well, I've just had a water bill, and I can see it's quite a bit more than the last one.
You've got 19% rise coming your way, and that is a £99 rise on average for Anglian water customers. How do you feel about that?
Well, my thoughts are that privatisation would be good if we could do that, but I understand the cost of doing so would be very prohibitive.
You mean nationalisation, don't you?
Oh, nationalisation.
OK, what's going on? Everyone is deliberately saying privatisation when they mean nationalisation. You shouldn't be doing that, Derek. OK, so, yeah, you think it would cost too much because you'd have to buy the shares back from all the shareholders?
Well, I understand that with our regional water authority, a lot of the investors are foreign pension fund providers, one of which is a large investor in Canada, paying for pensions in Canada.
I know, Derek, I know. I mean, whether you could seize the shares, they tried that with Railtrack. Do you remember Stephen Byers, the minister, basically almost shut down Railtrack by saying he's going to bring it back. And he got caught in a horrible thing with legal action. And governments can't just do everything they want to. We've discovered that with HS2. John is in Bradford now. So which is your company, John?
Yorkshire Water.
Yorkshire, of course it is. So you're here. I'm sorry to say you're the worst increase so far of 29%, which will be £136. Are you refusing to pay your bills?
I will not pay any bills, water, gas, electric, poll tax, because we are being ripped off left, right and centre.
And do you not find if you got an address that the bailiffs come round and try and take your TV and all that?
Oh, no. They don't do that when you're in trouble financially. But still, all the point is, we're just getting hit everywhere. Every bill you can think of, we're getting hit. It's not right.
You sort of long for someone at some point to say something's going down.
Yeah, council tax probably going to go up for a lot of people.
Council tax is going to go up, you're right. I suppose that part of this is all to do with we've got big national debt. The way to get out of it is you've got to use inflation so that the debt is worth less over time. And inflation has other knock-ons. All of our bills go up. Our house prices go up, which is good if you've got a house and bad if you haven't got one. And, John, you're left then saying what? Do you just say no, do you?
Well, I'd rather write a letter to the Yorkshire company and tell them to chase Rishi Sunak for the 17 billion he lost in COVID fraud.
Now, I think he might have hasn't he got... He was Richmond, so his house is up there, isn't it? It's nearby.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, with his spa.
17 billion, Jeremy, in COVID fraud. 17 billion pounds.
I'm going to write that figure down because I saw 16 billion, but we'll take 17 billion. We have never worked out. The government said if your business is in trouble, we'll give you money, and the criminals move so fast.
Yeah. I wish we'd go for those types of scroungers.
I don't think they were scroungers. They properly took the money and ran. They're still running. You're never going to get it back. Thank you, John. Tina. Hi, Tina in Buckinghamshire.
Hello.
Now, so London is the capital's there. You are Thames. I think I'm Thames as well,
Thames.
actually. Yeah. Now, look, I've got bad news, Tina. Do you know what your rise is going to be?
No, I expect it will be exorbitant, though.
It is. It's the worst so far, I'm afraid. It's even worse than John's. It's 31%. It's almost a third on your bill. and it's 151 quid per bill holder. I'm so sorry.
As long as they go round to the people who've got shares and take it from them and give it to me, that would be fine.
Yeah, I'm only laughing because we know that won't happen. Because as Lynn has pointed out, the people who've got shares are off all around the world. Although they're not necessarily profiteering because their money was used to do the repairs. Or was it? Did you get any repairs done there?
Absolutely none. We've had a constant leak within about 3 miles of my home since I moved here, which is getting on for 30 years ago. So,
crikey. Well, listen, so the only good news I can give you is Southern Water down here. It's quite a big area covered by it. The rise for them, and where I even put this, is 47%.
Ridiculous.
Which is about £224 per customer. So if you're in that sort of area, you got a serious bill coming
Thames
your
Water
way.
is so decrepit and dilapidated and uninvested. If they're digging up the road, it's a Thames Water van there for months and months and months.
Yeah,
Pathetic.
and they seem to have sorted some of the leaks out. I don't know, they've got a lot of issues because they've got to build a new sewer in London. We are a very crowded nation. Maybe this is the thing. And it's also that part of their model was to pollute the rivers and the seas and just pay the fines. And it took us 10 years to work out what they were doing. Sorry if I sound cross, but I'm a customer too. Thanks, Tina. Thanks, everyone.